time when we are recording this, Kenya is in mourning after a fire burnt down a dormitory in one of Nairobi's leading girls' high schools. I wish I could say that this is a very atypical incident, but it's not. Sadly, it is just one more incident in a long list of incidents involving arson, teenagers, and high schools. But what's going on behind the scenes? What is turning children to their own dormitories and schools? Why do they want to come home? And what can we do about it? Today we're talking about teen depression, teen emotional crisis, teen psychiatric and psychological challenges, and what we as parents and concerned adults can do to support our teenagers as they navigate these very difficult years. You're watching Focus with Renee. My name is Renee Ngamau, and this is Capital TV. Welcome. Julie Githeri-Goko, our guest today. You're a psychotherapist, and you work a lot with adolescents and individuals and couples in this particular area of, should I call it psychological challenges? Would that be a fair comment?
Yes, that sort of covers most of the work that I do, yes.
Now, we published a report in April of this year on Capital FM's news of an interview with a mental health advocate that pointed out that in Kenya, about 1 in 10 children and young people are living with mental health problems.
Yeah.
That is a huge number for a country that has 50% or more of our population being under 18. What is going on? Is this an epidemic? Why are we seeing such high numbers?
We're seeing an increase, yes, but when we look at that 1 in 10, we have to think, is it mild, is it severe, is it chronic? Because that's been grouped as depression. So there'll be different degrees of depression within that rating. So it's not to not take it seriously, but it's to know that there's a problem, yes. It being an epidemic, I think we have seen a huge increase of 18% within the last 10 years or so. And it's time for us to do something about it. If reports are being written, then there's significant change in the population in the way that we're managing and coping with stress, then it's time to take action, time to take note.
18% over the last 10 years.
Yes.
What is causing this increase?
There could be quite a few contributory factors, ranging from the way we socialize. Nowadays we tend to interact more on social media, so our interactions face to face are limited. So we're not having in real time conversation with someone and talking through our issues. We tend to be waiting more for that external validation to show us that we're okay, which isn't. How do we gauge that? How do we know what's genuine? We don't. And for young people in particular, those things matter. So it's finding out how can we communicate, how can we manage our coping, taking into account the way we are interacting nowadays. One of the other stresses is life tends to be more busy. So families are fragmented, we're moving more, we are living in different continents. So our time together is limited. So who are we talking to? Where are our coping? Where is our support coming from?
You know, it's very often we'll ask this of adults, where do you get support from? But as a parent of a teenage child,
yes,
how do you begin to diagnose, or when should you begin to suspect that there's something wrong that is out of the ordinary? What are some of those signs?
We need to think about, what can we see? As parents, what am I noticing about my teenager that is different? Are they being more insular? Are they staying more in their room? Are they sleeping a lot more? Are they being more irritable, angry? Is that mood being persistent? Because we know teenagers can be temperamental, but it's noting the difference between the two. And what has happened? Has there been a bereavement in the family, a separation? Is there conflict between the parents? Has there been a change in their schooling with friendship groups? So we're really being vigilant and taking notice.
Let's talk about separation within families, because
Yes.
I think we've seen an increase of this. as well
Yes.
over the last 10 years. Families that are splitting, single parent families, children who have never known one parent.
Yeah.
How much is this a contributing factor, if at all, to the increase in the mental health challenges that our teens are facing?
I suppose we need to take into account if a child has had two parents at home for a considerable amount of years and then one parent leaves, they then have to redefine themselves in relation to that relationship. They then go from being, say, a family of 5 or 4 to just being without one parent, and somehow trying to create a relationship as the new family, but somehow feeling angry maybe with the parent who has left, but wanting to bring them back into the family circuit. And how do they then be loyal to their parent who they are with and still remain loyal to the parent who has left? So all of these challenges are something that they're going to be thinking about. They don't want to stress their parents who have already gone through a divorce and a separation, so they may internalize all of these feelings because they don't want to be a burden. There's already a burden within the family home.
What else is happening that is contributing towards this growth in teen mental health challenges?
It's the support networks that we have. There's been a real shift in the way we support each other, and finding good qualified clinicians who can support that is difficult. It's a challenge. Yes.
So, we can't speak specifically to the cases, some of which are in court. Boys in boys' schools who are accused of arson, and
Yes.
now some girls in girls' schools. And obviously we can't speak specifically to it. But as a parent, when you see another child who you suspect, or not necessarily as a parent, as an adult, when you see a child who is not your child and you suspect that there might just be an issue, whatever the issue is, perhaps they've changed, or you just have a gut feeling about it. How do you broach this with a young person so that they don't feel invaded, but you do let them know that I'm concerned about you?
Yeah. That is a difficult topic in itself, because you're then having the conversation maybe with another parent, but it's something that you've noticed, so that's good. We're already being vigilant and being more aware of our surroundings and our children's friendship groups. And if we've noticed that, then as a parent, we do have a duty to think, actually, I can communicate to the parent so that they don't feel judged, they don't feel criticized. Because once those two emotions rise, then the communication and the conversation can become more difficult. But it's letting them know that you're there to support them. You've noticed something, and I just want to share my observation with you. And is there anything that I can do to help as a parent?